find someone has a farm here which is over 200 acres of land. You cannot say government will resettle that. Will you buy the 200 acres of land for them? And you can't retool them and give them another activity. So we have no, it is obvious. Actually, right now, Commissioner, just prepare to receive my letter asking for relief.
What I was saying,
It is obvious.
Without action. You can only take action when we know.
Exactly. You can be obvious. Even right now, I already have a draft designed waiting for signature to send it to ministry, asking for relief because it is expected.
We have, in fact, very many hotspots. We have this Kayanja 1, we have Kayanja 2, we have Kiaps, like in Urukora, like in Kiapa. For them, they were not very, very critical like this one. We did fencing with the funding. We had a project for, under Ministry of Water.
Kurungi amaizi gumwaka gw'embeera kugatire kasandara mu Greater Rusengo yona echeka babira mule Rusengo sub county na kutungama yona zakwatwaho so na wetu tukikara ha ministry ege ya prime minister twachwamu kusoroza sente mu donors and development partners and FAO ya irembera okumugaringa sente so na weki mu Japan ni government ya Japan ikasubira kuwa ni milioni rusanju ni 10 ezo zongere kuombeka ikishike kindi kuongera cyari kuchombekerweho cyo kumwe tuwireho n'umukoro nabandi aba ministry ya OPM office of the prime minister na partners abandi kurango mulimo gwatandikaho so mwike kwija mbeje ko mumbeka ikishike kindi kwata aho iguru mwanya wa Kisembo BB3 mpaka iguru mwasema mai ko mumbeka ikishike nikutangira mwezi kuongera kufitera so tuchasera sente ezindi mu development partners batwatindira kimwe myanya yone ya R.Semuliki mukwamije kufitera tuje konsera sente zindi zo kutimba gukora dredging rundi kuhonora ebisaro byona kitogoto nyande bahungu katorogo nuko amizigara bumuga ariko tutera abantu ubone wonsa kubafereza ibintu byabo so ubwo muri mu gutoroho twine kurwanira ensi yaitu ya Ntoroko itatumaruaho ekyo ekisaro cyari R.Semuliki mutima
nawe tunarebo usange ahambere mwakozere abantu mukasimbo some trees konka abantu bagumene bagitema. What is your message about that?
Twenda kunyenda kumanyisa aba members aba community okuba habereho omulimo ko government zire okutangira amazire okutubona bonesa okusanga umutakali na teme miti amwanya ogo mbasaba ni kundaza bebezi bailo C1 mikire mu wango mutongera kwikiriza abantu kutema miti na muntu abishweke biherene na misa ya R.Semuliki ekaduhimuke tukuranise hamwe nyenda kweta security organs EDSON office police UPDF miti yone nyakwerine na misa ya R.Semuliki egere katubirinze kimwe atagira muntu nomwe yongera kubitema kuko bitema ngo retire ubutando bwa mwana muno amazina kija kumira katubingira mu nsi yetu. Report also forms basis because there is need for we had even quantified. I remember there is an organization that undertook to fund the complete assessment of the river course. I don't know which partner was that. They even committed $250,000 for the comprehensive study of the river course to provide pertinent data. If I think we got those minutes for those meetings, we'll find a partner who committed that money to fund the assessment of this river course. So we have been here, we have noted there are many hotspots. Yes, there are those that are deteriorating very fast, and if we don't rush to mitigate them, this whole area is gone. I appreciate FAO for moving in fast, quickly to mobilize some resources that are going to enable us at least curtail. There is a part, I don't know if the 1 kilometer you're going to add will cover that part. There is a critical the upstream there. It is so critical that even now, even when the water levels are still normal, when the wind blows, the water goes above the bank. That is how critical it is. So that critical point, whether even when you have your other one, whether you don't have it, you can be assured there will be flooding. For Ntoroko, for the years I've spent here, it is obvious that now this is March, April, May, we shall have flooding. You can only assess and know this now it will be in larger volumes or what, but it is obvious, it is perennial. That for the past 10 years, it has to occur. So there is nothing like we predict or what, it is obvious. Actually, right now, Commissioner, just prepare to receive my letter asking for relief.
What we are saying,
It is
warning
obvious.
without action. You can only take action when we know.
Exactly. You can be obvious. Even right now, I already have a draft designed, waiting for signature to send it to ministry, asking for relief, because it is expected that by May we shall have floods, and we know the areas. That Kayanja hotspot will throw in water. There is, when you just go downstream here, yes, Kakahenda, you will expect large volumes of water will be flowing. 4 weeks from now, large volumes of water will be crossing over. When you go further downstream, there is the Nyanja Bahungu. When you go further downstream, there is a hotspot that has now, I think, Kabimbiri Church of Uganda is gone. By now, we should be planning to have shifts, because it is barely 200 meters from the river bank. So we have identified those hotspots. I remember we came to the ministry, to the OPM, with a bill of around 20 billion. 20 billion would help us at least mitigate something from here up to. We have not even touched downstream, going to Diva, where you can't differentiate between the bank and yes. So, Commissioner, as the OPM, this would be my suggestion. We thank FAO, because these are our kind-hearted people. They are putting in something. When we were last in that meeting, we agreed that the OPM helps us coordinate very many stakeholders. Bring on board World Food Program, bring on board. I remember we had the UN Resident Commissioner. We had agreed to have a pool of funds. And I remember the UN Resident Commissioner making a commitment to mobilize sister agencies under the UN to contribute to a fund. It could be domiciled at the FAO, we would appreciate that. But there was a commitment from ministry. I remember we even left with a commitment of the minister to call, I think someone in, was it the one, whatever one. They were supposed to call them and also bring them on board to mobilize some fund. Commissioner, we are grappling with one thing, our friends in government understanding what we are talking about. Because if we understood it, we will have a budget line. Even if it appeared once as non-funded priority, you would be sure, for us leaders of the community, would fight that in the subsequent years, we make sure that it is entirely funded. But at least creating a budget line and saying, this issue here is an issue, we call, what do we call it? Do we call it stabilization of the R.Semuliki bank or what? But at least something appears, an item in the budget, even if it is not funded, but it has to originate from somewhere. Now, FAO is working closely with OPM. Ministry of Water has a similar plan for the same, but we are not working at the same pace. We are not. So, Commissioner, I would request that once you go back, let's move together. Let's move together. This is really something we appreciate, that whatever aid that and relief that you send and the other agencies bring in, but trust me, that relief is like Panadol. It doesn't help at the end of the day. Posho and beans and tarpaulins and what will not help. What we have to do is come here and solve this. I had discussed with the Honorable Minister. I think he was even thinking of getting some funding from China as a project, but let's do everything possible within our means to make sure this is possible. Why do I say it is important that we solve this? Commissioner, whereas we are grappling with resettling the other people in the camp, here it is not an option. Because the people who are neighboring this river are not fishermen. They are not crop growers. These are ranchers. These are people who have large land masses. They require several acres of land. You find someone has a farm here which is over 200 acres of land. You cannot say government will resettle that. Will you buy the 200 acres of land for them? And you can't retool them and give them another activity. So we have no any other option apart from resisting this river kind of erosion. We have to resist it. So I request, Commissioner, when you go back, prepare this item as an unfunded priority, at least for the first year, but second year we can push and have some funds for it. Then also, let's also increase on the coordination of the agencies that are around. FAO has got the expertise in it. We can also do further documentation. We could even reach out. I don't know who is funding us this time. Is it the Japanese? The Japanese government. So if we can reach out to the Japanese government, reach out to the Danish government, reach out to so many. I have been engaging even other government programs. We have been discussing about docking. The RDC brought it here.
Yeah, my name is Kamuhanda Herbert. I'm the District Environment Officer for Ntoroko District Local Government. Where we are at Kayanja 1 village in Bweramule, in Ramavare Parish, Bweramule sub-county, where we did riverbank stabilization along River Semuliki. As in Ntoroko District, we usually have issues to do with the floods and the drought, but the kind of flooding we have is riverine. It is always as a result of waters coming from the river when during the rainy season. So in 2013 in March, 2023 in March, we had a rainy season which caused a lot of flooding. But that lot of flooding affected around the 4 lower local governments of Bweramule sub-county, Butungama, Repsengo Town Council, up to Kanara sub-county. But the major area, point where the water were coming from was this place where we are standing here. We have mapped this river, the major hotspots which lead to flooding, but this was the major hotspot. And this hotspot, for it when it would release water into the community, it would affect very many community members. So we did an assessment which we submitted to Ministry of Water and Environment because it involved much costs which the district would not handle, and working together with the Ministry of Water and Environment, FAO came in to support. And when we did the assessment together, we decided to do structural engineering works to mitigate this area that was causing us a lot of flooding. But what amused us was that the next flooding which occurred in 2024, it affected few community members because the major hotspot which was leading a lot of water into the communities had been worked on. This embankment was 5 meters by 1.7, but it has now settled, and we can see natural regeneration taking place. So we are very grateful to Ministry OPM for the coordination, but also we are very, very, very grateful to FAO that funded the activity. This stretch we are targeting by then 1 kilometer, but we managed to work on 600 kilometers. But also, I'm happy to also to note that tomorrow, which is the 12th of March 2026, FAO, after securing some more additional funds, works on another 1 kilometer is starting, and we hope also when this one is done, we will reduce the impacts of flooding further, because the major floods here are, like I said earlier, are riverine, when water comes from the river. Thank you. Tomorrow, the 12th of March 2026, we are having a second phase to add on the 600 meters. We are adding there 1 kilometer. The site was already handed over, and the contractor is starting tomorrow as a way of mitigating floods. We registered the progress in natural regeneration when you look around, but this community, we realize it they lack sources of firewood. So in the second phase, what we are going to do, we have added in giving out seedlings to households, planting bamboo, so that the community members have seedlings at their household level, but also when the bamboo grows up, we can regulate, cause for it at least it can provide a lot of biomass, so we can regulate the harvesting. But hopefully the trees we have given them also will have grown up. But in addition to that, we have also agreed to engage the communities further. We are coming to the Department of Natural Resources, Community Development, Production. We are coming to talk to these people so that we tell them why we should leave these trees to grow, to strengthen the bark behind, but also to stabilize the banks further.
In the mean,
once they continue cutting down that cover, then they will accelerate the rate at which the bank is breaking, but they will accelerate the rate at which the bank is breaking, but also they will destabilize our structure.
Now, the river, and also what mitigation plans do you have?
Yes, along the river we have in fact very many hotspots. We have this Kayanja 1, we have Kayanja 2, we have Kiapa, we have Kakahenda, we have in Rukora, we have in Haivare, and we have in Budiva. And the one of Budiva is tricky because it is closer to Lake Albert. For it, water comes from both the river and also from the lake. But what we have done in some of the hotspots, like in Rukora, like in Kiapa, for them they were not very critical like this one. We did fencing with the funding. We had a project under Ministry of Water and Environment called the Lakes Albert Edward Fisheries and the Water Resources Management Project, LIF 2. So we did some we did fencing and around the natural regeneration. But on those hotspots, the reason as to why they were breaking so fast was that there was a lot of watering of animals from all the points. So what we did, we constructed we would fence off the 100 meters, then we construct a watering trough away from the river so that the animals stop accessing the river and allow the bank to stabilize in addition to the trees we had planted. It has worked in some areas, especially like Rukora, like Kyangabukama. Natural regeneration is taking place, but also the animals no longer access the river anyhow because we provided alternative watering sources.